Hey everyone, I am Itay, and today we have the real pleasure of being here on the rooftops of Jerusalem. And the rooftops of Jerusalem has a lot of history to it. Shai Agnon, the famous Israeli writer, wrote in one of his books that Jerusalem is completely connected by its rooftops. And the people who know the secret pathways can move from one corner of the old city to the other just by knowing the secret pathways on the rooftops. And if we look down there, we can many times spot people just walking from their home to the shopping area, living their lives. So we are standing on the rooftops of Jerusalem, and from here we can look around and really see the old city as it really is. In first look it doesn't look very impressive, and in Israel it's a little bit like that. Things are not as big and as magnificent as they are like the churches of Europe, but the holiness and sacredness and importance of those buildings is extremely important. So what I want to talk about standing here is something that many people who come to Jerusalem are not always aware of, and that is that the old city is divided in 4 different quarters. There are 4 different areas in the old cities that belongs to 4 different groups. And the 4 quarters are the Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, the Jewish quarter, which all make perfect sense. There's 3 main religions, and the 4th one is a little bit of a weirdo, the Armenian quarter. How come Armenia, which is a small country in Eastern Europe, got to have its own quarter? Not China, not Russia, not the US, not Israel also. The only country in the world is Armenia, and that has to do with the historical fact that the Armenians were the first ones that became Christian as a country. And starting from very ancient times, and mainly from the Crusader period, they got their own area in the city and made it their own, and that's still the way it is until today. So let's look around a little bit and see the 4 quarters and how we can recognize them. So over there we can see the Christian quarter. We can easily recognize it by the magnificent domes, the towers, and the many crosses on top of them. The 2 big grey domes belong to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, where Jesus was crucified, buried, and resurrected. The Christian quarter is quite small. There are all in all about 4,000 people living there. Moving down there, we can see the Muslim quarter. Recognizing the Muslim quarter is somehow easy, mainly by the satellite dishes. The Muslims that live in the old city of Jerusalem like to see many TV channels from the Arab world that are not on the ordinary Israeli cable system, so they put the satellite dishes on their rooftops. Over there in the Muslim quarter, by the way, there are about 25,000 people out of the 36,000 people of the old city of Jerusalem. So 2/3 of the old city belong to the Muslim quarter by people wise, and that's mainly because for the last 1,000 years Israel was mainly under the leadership of Muslim empires, and it became a mainly Muslim populated city. Over here we can see the Jewish quarter. You can easily recognize the Jewish quarter because, number one, the buildings are quite new. You can see that they are not that old, and that's because during the War of Independence in 1948, most of the Jewish quarter was destroyed by the Jordanian Legion that was fighting here against the Israeli army, and during the battles the Jewish quarter was destroyed, and in 1967, when Israel took over the old city, it was rebuilt again. In the Jewish quarter there are about 5,000 people living. Another thing you can notice is that on the rooftops there are these wooden shades built up throughout the year. There is a structure for the shades that the Jewish people are building during the holiday of Sukkot, and it's much easier to keep it as a permanent base for it than to rebuild it every year again and again, and Jews build it all around Israel. And up here, this area is the famous Armenian quarter, where the Armenians are living. It's quite small. There are all in all about 2,000 Armenians. Many of them are coming here for their study period, how to be monks, and then they go back to Armenia. Something which is interesting to notice here is that we can easily see the two sides of the old city. The Golden Dome down there, the Dome of the Rock where the temple was, the holiest place in Jerusalem for Jews and Muslims, is one corner of the city, and the other corner of the city is just about 150 meters that direction. The old city is all in all 1 square kilometer. You can easily see most of it, meaning surrounding it, in about 2 hours. You can spend here also month and month, but it's quite small. And I think it's quite amazing to think that all the important events that happened here in Jerusalem through more than 3,000 years of history happened in this 1 square kilometer. All of the new Jerusalem, which is built today around the walls of the old city, is only 150 years old. It started to be built only in 1860. So here we are. It looks a bit modest, but that's a Jerusalem that for thousands of years people are thinking about, writing poems on, praying towards, and I think it's pretty awesome. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful week. Bye bye.